Next we have isolation. What is isolation? Isolation is the prevention of mating between two interbreeding groups. So here we have one important phenomena, that is reproductive isolation. So when there is isolation, means when there is no mating between the populations of two different species, that is known as reproductive isolation. Right. So it is also one of the major factors that has given rise to modern concept of evolution, right. So there can be some geographical barriers also, there can be some biotic barriers. Geographical barriers means there is the isolation because of the different what? Geographical regions, right. And then there can be some biotic factors also that lead to this isolation. Biotic factors as such like genetic factors, right. So gene differences that can be there. So these geographical factors or the biotic factors are responsible for such isolation. Then we have heredity. When we talk about heredity, heredity means the transfer of characters from parents to the offspring. What does it mean? It means transfer of characters from parents to the offspring. Now what happens in this case? The characters that are transferred from parents to the offsprings, they are going to what? They are going to give some advantage. So these characters can be advantageous for the species also, and they are passed on from generation to generation to generation to generation. Next we have natural selection. Now natural selection we will be discussing in detail after this, right. So moving on to speciation, this means the formation of new species because of all these phenomena that go on, like talk about mutations, isolation, that is reproductive isolation, the heredity, natural selection. So all this lead to formation or the origin of new species that we call as speciation, and this all happens and has given rise to the modern concept of evolution, that is neo-Darwinism or synthetic theory of evolution.